Hello, good people. Welcome back to Kente Construction. This is Ken, if you are new here, whereby here we normally talk about construction-related issues. So today, I'm still in Kachibora, where I was doing the roofing project. And today, I want you to know the lessons which you will learn in order to achieve such a amazing project. So come with me as I take you on all the steps taken to acquire such a house. So when you're building a house, you need to note many things before you start your project, because that is an investment and it is something that is going to take your money, to take your savings, and also it might run your bank dry. So this is what I want you to learn in order to achieve a good and proper house. Preferably, I'm talking about a domestic house, and maybe in areas with good red soil, or with a good soil like here in Trans Nzoia. This is Trans Nzoia County. So when you want to build, you need to start by building a foundation. What is a foundation? A foundation is the handshake between the house and the soil. So when they go hand in hand, your house will stay firm, but if they disagree, you'll have to say bye-bye to your project. So a foundation needs to have a column and a beam. So what is a column? A column is this, it supports the weight of the house straight, and the beam supports the weight of the house horizontally. All of them work hand in hand to give your house a strength. So they support the weight of the house to the foundation, and the foundation takes it to the ground. So that's why we normally dig what we call foundation trenches, to make sure that we get the hard soil, the best place to lay on your house. That's what we normally does to make sure that you come out with a good house. So columns are these ones here. And as I said, columns and beams. Beams are this one, like the lintel. It is a lintel beam. That's why this one here, this is the lintel on the upper side of the window. This is what we call the beam, lintel beam. And the ones which are running like hizi zingine, these are what we call the columns. What is the work of a column on a house? A column and a beam, they both create the skeleton structure of your house. So you need columns on your house for your house to have the desired strength. So let me give you an example why you need columns and beams on your house. When you walk in a sand soil, let's say sand soil, yes, with a sneaker shoe, a flat sole shoe, you will just walk firmly. But when we walk with a pointed shoe, mostly worn by ladies, the shoe will be stamping. Itakuwa inaingia ndani ya hiyo mchanga. So that's why we make foundation, to make the surface become somehow flat. It becomes like a sneaker shoe. So when you press it down, when you press the pointed shoe, inatoboa ile mchanga inaingia. But when you press the flat sole shoe, itakuwa inakaa above the soil. That's why we create a surface, a base, a foundation, a slab for the house to lay on. We have specialists in building. We have the architectural engineering and structural engineering. All of them work hand in hand to make sure your house will stay fit and stay firm for long. That's why we usually talk about approvals, because those physical planners, they have the data of every area. So they know if your house has the capacity to if your soil has the capacity to carry the load of your house. That's mostly why you take your plans for approval, is because that engineer can attest. He can do professional calculations of knowing the weight of the total structure. The total structure meaning from the slab, once you've done the foundation, you have done the slabbing, from there we have the walls. So the weight of the walls, we have the rods which will be used for creating the beams and the lintel. We have the ballast, the concrete, and now we have the roof with the timbers, iron sheets, and what we call the ceiling, the water tank above, and all the electrical installations, the gypsum, yes, and the paint. Hizo vitu zote, they are in weight. So whoever has bought mabati in a company knows that once the sales quotation is out, they give you the quantity in weight, and they also give you the value in money. So the structural engineer calculates the total weight of the house, the total load which is going to stay on that foundation. So we have to make sure that we have a strong foundation which will enable your house to stay strong and stay firm. That's why you need those engineers. Don't just take somebody, mtu anakuambia mimi najenga, this house wants 2,500 machine cut stones, mimi nitakufanyia hii nyumba, nitakuletea fundi. You might, indeed, he might build for you a home, but the integrity of that house will be lower. So let's say, mostly we are talking of these good areas. Let's say you are building in the area with challenges, like the what we call cotton soil areas. You need extra cautious and professional people for you to acquire the desired structure. So the foundation, it has the work to take all the load on the house, as I have said, and even we have the movement of people. For instance, Mimi Ken, I have 100 kgs, okay? We are in this house 10 people. That is another 1 ton, and a ton load we have added on that foundation. So wherever we request for foundation materials, we have to request the best materials ever. Let your biggest investment go to the foundation. Most of you take your best materials on the finishing because you wanted to please the visitors, the people who come, but no. Today, let me tell you something. Fail on finishing, but make sure you have a strong foundation, because the foundation, it's holding a struggle, everyday struggle between the house and all natural issues. The weight of the house, whichever thing you add in the house, the utensils, the furnitures, I've said also moving people, the water tank, maybe you put it on the top of the roof, everything. And we have the moving wind, which is pushing the house daily. It is a struggle every day of any standing object between it and the wind. That's why you will see every day a tree is shaking. It is not shaking that is dancing to the wind. It is a struggle between the tree and the wind. The wind is pushing the tree to fall, and the tree is relying on its roots to stay firm and to make sure inapinga hiyo upepo. So that's how it is. Foundation, for instance, if we take by the show of a human body, foundation is the legs, the down the foot side, the down foot of the leg. The leg itself, it is now the column. It's supporting the whole body on the ground, and the foundation is now the down leg, ile ambayo inakanyaga chini. So that's what it is. So when you're building, prefer and make sure you put all your efforts in the foundation, and make sure you invest highly in the foundation. The reason why some engineers doesn't, why do people mostly use these machine cut stones? Today, I want you to learn. Machine cut stones are not good for foundation, but they are good for walling. 1, they are light, and 2, they are expensive. Most people run away from machine cut stones because of they are expensive. But the good thing about them, hutapiga plaster nje na pia ndani, they are light. Most people use dressed stones. Some people use dressed stone or bush stone. Those stones are not good for building, but because of 2 reasons. 1, they are very heavy, and 2, they will take a lot of mortar when it comes in terms of plaster. They will take a lot of plaster by inside. But if you consider very well to the weight, if you want to build using those bush stones or dressed stones, make sure you have enough columns on your house. Let the house be a skeleton. Make sure you have a strong foundation. Let the foundation have enough base and columns which will sustain the weight of those stones, or else the stones will cause cracks on your wall. That's what it is. So what I wanted us to learn more in this picture and about this video of Kachibora, you can choose to build your house your way. You don't have to go by the majority. You can just choose to build your house your way. Build it your design, because you can also make it at least for it to look somehow unique. So, and for it to look somehow unique, you might build it with your own unique plan. So like this house here, most houses, we have the backyard and the front yard. They penetrate, causing this type of shape here on the roofing. Most houses which have become like a uniform, or else they are used by, when, let me talk even of a broker. When a broker comes on your site, ile nyumba aliwitness ikijengwa ya kwanza, that will what he will be advising you, that hii dirisha tuweke hapa. Everybody has his own taste, everybody has his own desire, everybody has what he wants. So you can build a house your way. Don't allow me, I'll advise, but that is your design. Once I've built and live, you'll be the one who will be staying in that house. So let's go. This house of Kachibora, it has a unique setting. The client loved it. Most houses are that when you enter the main door here, like here, most houses, you enter here, you enter the sitting room. The dining is mostly on the back side of the sitting. But this one was given a unique design. It was given the dining on the sideway of it. And preferably, the dining has its own roof, which is somehow which combines these roofs here, iko hapa kando, and the dining makes this house unique. The client also had his or her own plans, akaitengeneza in a way that akaipea kitchen iko on the other side, and this house doesn't have a backyard or the back porch. That is the desire of the client. But he managed to do something special, because in the kitchen, once you get from the sitting room, let me go back a little. So ukitoka kwa lounge, you have this corridor, which I normally say it is common, but is not bad because it assists in the partitioning of these houses. So the corridor, to me, a corridor is just a good to control the movement between the rooms, and also partitioning of these rooms. The corridor makes it easier for the rooms to be accessible. Also, the rooms to be stocked with beds or whatever you want to put in. The corridor will assist you. So from the corridor, we have here the kitchen, which is here, and mostly kitchens have the backyards, but this one, it is a unique one. It has just a back door here, and the back door takes you to the already built house, which will act maybe as a kitchen, outside kitchen. So that's what the plan of this client, which to me is very nice and it's just okay. So the kitchen is here, and it also has its pantry, which to me is okay, and it connects very well with the dining, because here we have a large serving window, which makes it easier accessible and well planned plan. So whenever you want to build, don't build a house like the other one. You might need a roof like of the other house, but make sure the partitionings of the room suits you very well, suits you with your future life in that house. Make sure you consider everything, because at some stage the children will leave your house, will be staying you with your spouse alone, and also maybe with the grandchildren and some untalked of visitors, because life is unpredictable. So when planning for building, we have always huwa tunakutana na surprises. We have surprises, like every project lazima kutatokea a surprise. A surprise may be of a good thing or a bad thing, but you have to prepare for that. That's why when I do give you a quotation, I'll make sure I'll write for you something called miscellaneous. Miscellaneous determines some things, because you can build a wall and it starts raining immediately. And the rain pulls that wall down because it will be heavy and the cement won't have dried, na hiyo ukuta ianguke. You will have to rebuild it. That one means you are going more in the budget, because the cement will be destroyed. Maybe the time will pass na itakuwa ni usiku yenye hamwezi reuse the material. So that's why we need what we call miscellaneous. You might budget for your water. The water supplier, the line collapses, ifike mahali patikane, hata labda wanalima njia, the water line is cut. You will have to go an extra mile of buying waters. Okay? You might make a budget, the ground be sloppy, the foundation eat more material, ichukue a lot of cement, a lot of the machine, the foundation stones, a lot of muram. You will be needed to add more and more. So that's why we usually advise for site visit, and also request that when budgeting, you put something aside which we usually call miscellaneous. That money is not for us. It's just a guideline for you to budget, so that in case something occurs, you have somewhere to touch and make sure you have finished your project. So this house here, it was very much essential. Me, I've loved this house. I love the planning of this client. I love the way the client associates himself. Alileta material yote on time. Alileta vizuri sana, and I'm very happy and I'm very good that I've done the job, and the job is well done. So this house, I can assure you, the client will be happy with it na ataishi vizuri. The roof itself only, it costed about this. I can say this is a 500,000 roof. That is the truth. Me, and I'm not talking that I was given that 500,000. I talk from the experience and from the materials which were brought and from the current market prices. So if you want this roof, make sure you have money. If you want any housing project, just get a plan, get a quotation. Now look for funds to fund your project. Do it step by step. It will go on well. Make sure you have all the reason to use your material. Make sure you have the study of your ground, the study of the soil, how the soil behaves in your area during rainy seasons and during dry season. Make sure you know all the behaviors of your soil, because some soils usually change, vary, and climates also affects building. So make sure your house is fully reinforced. Make sure we put enough columns. That's why when you visit, I talked of affordable housing projects right now going on in Kenya, funded by the government from your salary, the money which is cut from your salary, kwa wale ambao mko na payslip. Though if you look at those houses, they usually start with the skeleton. They don't build the stones. They usually build the skeleton. The skeleton, which is a combination of the columns and the beams, they usually build them fast, and zinaenda mpaka ghorofa ya 10. So if a skeleton can hold up to 10 slabs, then these stones, wewe jenga na mawe yoyote, make sure your house will be okay. But for a domestic house, which I've talked of, which are mostly built in the grassroots areas, make sure you know you study the soil, you study how the climate goes with your area before you choose the material to use on your building. So I think here we've learned something. We've built the house, and whoever's interested, mimi Ken niko around, just call me, my number, and you'll get me, tutafanya kazi. So thank you people, be blessed. May God give you strength as we meet in the next project.